Look, if you're serious about making money as a reseller, there's one thing that a lot of resellers miss, and that is staying ahead of the market. You have to know what items are on the rise in order to make the most money and the fastest sales. So what I'm doing is in this video, I've done all of the research for you, and I'm laying it out here of 10 items that you need to be sourcing and listing right now in order to maximize your profits. And make sure to watch to the very end because I'll be showing you the items that are selling for into the hundreds of dollars that a lot of resellers don't even think about. Well, hey, if you're new here, my name is LeeMeier. I've made over $100,000 net profit selling used clothes on online platforms like eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. We're gonna go ahead and jump into item number one, which is jeans. With all of these, I'm showing you real data and exactly what is selling right now. And these are from eBay's TerraPeak, their research tool. You're gonna notice that the demand starts to rise midsummer and peaks usually around the middle of December. By looking at the past history, i.e. the last 3 years with these graphs that I'm going to be showing you, we can predict what is going to be on the rise right now. And as you might guess, jeans are one of the best things to be sourcing and listing right now. The demand is just starting to rise and it'll stay steady from about November through March. Some of my favorite items to flip in this category are household names like Wrangler and Levi's. And if you come across vintage or older Levi's, that's going to be even more money. This is a pair of silver tab Levi's jeans. These are women's jeans. They are a boot cut, sort of a boho look to them. These sold full price $68. And another type of jean that I'm always on the lookout for are workwear jeans, especially Carhartt. Almost all items sell fast and are worth flipping. These are a pair of plain brown jeans. They are not even double knee. They do have a little bit of wear at the cuff, but they still sold for $67.50 best offer. Carhartt is definitely one of my favorite brands. And if you'd love to have my 150 best brands list, that's the list of brands that has led me to the $100,000 mark and beyond, you'll find that free list linked below this video. And one of the hottest trends right now when it comes to jeans are wide leg and baggy styles, especially if they're from the Y2K era. Now, you might already know that Jinko jeans can sell for into the hundreds of dollars, but there's plenty of lesser known brands that still make a good $50 to $100 flip. This is a pair of Y2K era wide leg jeans. It's from a brand called McGear or Mac Gear. Not quite sure. They do have cargo pockets. And these went $75 full price. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to be mentioning niche deep dives. And these are where we go deep into a proven clothing niche. I show you things like the keywords that are trending, the styles that buyers are paying up for, and the details that spell money. If you'd like to go deeper into these topics, I'll be linking them as we go in product cards on your screen. Number two, boots. This is another type of item where the demand always starts to go up in the fall and stays fairly steady through the fall and winter months. One of the most profitable items in this category are Western or cowboy style boots. This is a pair of boots from the brand Ariat, and this is a women's pair of boots, square toe. These are super colorful, and these sold full price $143. Another type of boot that I'm always on the lookout for is anything that is workwear related. Now, there's lots of bigger name brands like Red Wing where there's going to be a lot of money, but even lower value, more household staple names can also do well. This is a pair of boots from the brand Caterpillar. Now, these are steel toe boots, and that's something that buyers will pay up for. These sold full price $70. And when it comes to fashion boots, even mainstream brands can do well if they're the right style. This is a pair of boots from the brand Toms. These are a simple, basic black wedge bootie. These were listed at $118 and went on best offer $85. And vintage boots are where some of the biggest money is. If you'd like to dive deeper into specifically vintage boots, then you'll want to check out the deep dive on your screen as well as linked below this video. Number three, Flannel. This one has a huge seasonality factor to it. And again, right now is the time that you should be sourcing and listing these pieces because buyers are always shopping ahead of the season. Now, one of the best brands to come across when it comes to flannel items is the brand Dixon Flannel. These make a solid $40 to $60 flip, and they sell especially fast. If you come across bigger sizes or rare prints, those are going to sell for even more money. This is a red plaid button-up shirt. This is in a size large, so it is a bigger size, listed at $95, and it went on 65 best offer. And this is an older button-up shirt from Abercrombie and Fitch. This is actually what is called an as seen on item. So this item was as seen on Neil Young, so it does fetch a little bit more money, listed at $145, and it went on best offer for $100. And very, very closely related to flannel, but not quite the same, is chamois. People pay extra money just for this type of fabric. This is a chamois Western style snap shirt. It actually went for over the asking price, and I see this happen. My best guess is it's an international sale, which is very common with a lot of these items like this. It was listed at $95 and it went for $108 plus $23 of shipping. That's why I suspect it's an international sale. If you'd like to learn more about identifying chamois as well as other valuable fabrics, then you'll want to make sure to check out my fabric guide. I'll link that on your screen. Next up are sweaters, and there is a huge upswing seasonality with these items. And some of my favorite items have nothing to do with brands, and it's more about what is on the sweater. Anything that is novelty that a certain person would love, whether it's horses, cats, dogs. This happens to be a sweater that has books on it on a shelf. It's almost kind of like a library. This is from a brand that's called Marissa Christina, but it's not about the brand. It's literally about what is on this sweater. And it went full price, $89. Another type of sweater that I'm always on the lookout for is any type of Irish knit sweater, especially if it's made in Ireland. And one of my favorite brands is a brand that is called Erin Crafts. This is a sweater that is from Erin Crafts. You'll notice there on the tag, it does say Ireland. This one went full price, $60. And sweaters with a certain type of look, whether they're unique or whether they have a material that buyers pay up for, or if they're an older item. This is a sweater from the Gap of all stores. It does have sort of a rainbow stripe design to it, and it is made from lamb's wool from the Y2K era, and this sold full price, $180. If you'd like to dive deeper into specific sweaters to be on the lookout for, including the styles and trends that are on the rise, then make sure you check out the sweater deep dive. Again, linked on your screen as well as below the video. Number 5, jackets. This is one that's probably not too surprising, but it does pay to get these items listed ahead of time in order to give yourself the best chance of making a sale. And I know I mentioned Carhartt with jeans, but I have to mention it again here when it comes to jackets, because pretty much anything and everything is worth picking up. Even if it's not in the best of condition, these types of items are really getting bid up, even if they're flawed, even if they have holes, paint, or other stains. This is a hooded jacket that doesn't have too much wear going on with it. It is a little bit more unique color. It was listed for $122 and it went on best offer, $110. And of course, any type of outdoor brand jacket, whether it's Patagonia, Arc'teryx, Mammoth, Marmot, you name it, it can be worth money. Now, this is a jacket that's actually from Colombia, and this falls into one of my lower value brands that usually doesn't hold its resale value too well. But what I like to look for here are bigger sizes, specifically plus sizes. This is a women's 2X. It was listed at $58 and it sold for $53 on offer. And one of the hottest trends right now that buyers are really paying up for is something that is called a penny lane jacket. These were popular in the 70s and then brought back again during the Y2K era. The Y2K era items are going to be more common to come across. Of course, if you come across 70s items, those are going to be a little bit more valuable, but they also are a little bit more rare to find. With the 70s as well as Y2K, it is less about the brand and more about the style. This is a Y2K era penny lane jacket. This one happens to be from a brand that is called Mix It. These jackets are characterized by the fur trim around the collar as well as the cuffs, and this one does happen to have some beautiful embroidery on it. They're typically suede jackets or faux suede. This one was listed for $120 and it went on best offer for $108. Next up, Christmas. There's huge seasonal spikes with these, but the growth really starts happening mid-summer. And again, a lot of success comes with catching the front of that wave as the demand is rising. So many items that I could talk about here, but one of my favorite has to be Michael Simon sweaters. These are usually super intricate, very detailed, and kind of over the top. This one has snowmen that are felted. Lots and lots of details going on with this one. It sold full price, $83. And men's button-up shirts that are Christmas themed, especially from the brands Tommy Bahama as well as Rain Spooner. This is a button-up that's a newer item. It's not a vintage item from Tommy Bahama. It does say Happy Hula Days on it, and it has a little toucan or bird there popping out of the front chest pocket. This one went $58 best offer. And of course, Disney Christmas is kind of a no-brainer, especially when it comes to Winnie the Pooh and Disney Store and Disney catalog items. This is a Winnie the Pooh cardigan sweater from the Disney Store. Looks like it's got Tigger there on ice skates, as well as Winnie the Pooh making maybe hot chocolate, not sure. This is a size 2XL and it went full price, $65. Number 7, any items that are wool. Wool definitely has a seasonal demand to it, as you can see there on the graph. And with wool, if you compare two of similar items, if one doesn't have wool and one does, the one with wool will almost always sell for more money. So that's something that you're gonna definitely want to pay attention to when you're sourcing items as well as when you're pricing them. This is a pair of just basic women's dress pants. Now these are a little bit of an odd size. They are a super, super small size. They are a 00, but they're also a 00 long. Those kinds of things can still make a difference, but because these are wool, these did sell full price for $55. Pendleton has to be one of my very most favorite items to come across that are known for wool. This is a basic button-up board shirt in a serape style design. It is a 3XL and it went for $125 full price. But of course, other Pendleton items also do well, especially when it comes to their outerwear, like coats, ponchos, and shawls. I actually just did a deep dive on Pendleton as well as the Southwestern aesthetic. Again, that deep dive is linked somewhere on your screen as well as below this video. A lot of money to be made here. And definitely don't ignore more basic or heritage brands like Eddie Bauer. Now, this is just a simple women's coat, but it does have a wool liner to it as well as wool lining there in that hood. This jacket with wool lining went full price, $90. Next up, academia. If you're going, what's that? This is an aesthetic or a style that people dress as, whether it's plaid or cable knit. It's really about the whole schoolgirl or preppy vibe. And one of the things that I love most about style-based sourcing is that a lot of times it does not matter the brand. It's more about the look. Even unbranded items can sell for a decent amount. This is actually an unbranded skirt, sort of a diagonal plaid design going on there, but they did use the keyword academia in the title, and this sold full price, $50. And another plaid skirt here from Talbot's. Now, Talbot's is one of those brands that I don't normally have on my radar just because most items don't hold their value very well. But when you come across style-based items like this, these can make a really good flip. That's what they used there in their title. And this one also went full price for $50. And this is an unbranded set of a vest and the matching skirt. Super cute, love this one. It was listed at $75 and it went on best offer for $50. Now the academia aesthetic is an up and coming deep dive topic. I do give these deep dives free to members for the month they join and moving forward. So the sooner that you get in, the more profit potential you have. I also actually did a deep dive on specifically union made items, which that last item did happen to be union made from the ILGWU union. If you'd like to learn more about profiting from union made items, again, I'll link that deep dive on your screen as well as below the video. Next up, velvet. Since I mentioned academia, you might be wondering about other aesthetics like whimsy goth, and I did look this one up, and it is just up. There does not seem to be sort of a seasonality going on specifically with the whimsy goth look. The one exception to that is velvet, which is number 9 on the list. All that to say is that there is a little bit of overlap, and specifically with velvet whimsy goth items, there may be some seasonality to those because velvet definitely has a seasonal factor going on where it's rising midsummer headed into the cooler months. This is a dress with a sort of whimsy goth look to it. It is from the Y2K era, and it's from a brand that's called Believe. And again, with these, it's not about the brand, it's more about the look. This is an asymmetrical sort of layered look with burnout velvet. You will see whimsy goth and fairy there in the title as well as burnout velvet. This one went $60 full price. And this is a dress with velvet from a brand that's called Natural Life. These don't normally sell for quite this much, but because of the look, because of that fabric, the velvet, this one was listed at $65 and it sold on best offer for $62. And when it comes to velvet, I have to mention Johnny Was, because if you come across Johnny Was that is velvet or silk, these items will usually sell for more money. This is a velvet blouse from Johnny Was. It is embroidered. You can check out the tag there of Johnny Was. All of the tags are different, super unique. This was listed at $99 and it went for $84 on offer. Next up are any items to be used in the snow or for skiing or snowboarding. No, it is not too early to be thinking about those kinds of things, sourcing them as well as listing. Looking back at that past buying history, we can see that buyers are already starting to buy these types of items right now. And again, there's lots of mainstream brands here when it comes to things like snow pants, whether it's Stio, Helly Hansen, Obermeyer, Roxy, Patagonia. These are a pair from the North Face, and these are Gore-Tex. That is something that buyers are paying up for. A pretty basic pair of pants listed at $52 and they went for $50. And of course, any kind of snow boots. These are a pair of men's boots from the brand Sorel. These were listed at $115 and they went on best offer for $90. And this is one of the few places where kids' items can be worth money in this snow and ski category. And of course, brand names like you would recognize do well when it comes to babies as well as kid items like Patagonia and the North Face. But this is actually from an Italian luxury brand called Ad. And this is a 2-piece set, the coat as well as the bibs. And these went full price, $75. All right, so as promised, one bonus category. Super excited for this because there is a lot of profit to be had here, and this is Halloween. A few examples of the types of items to be on the lookout for are, of course, ugly sweaters. These items do so well. This is a sweater from the brand Tiara International. This is a brand that is especially known for their ugly holiday sweaters, whatever holiday it is. This one's got a black cat on it, as well as a witch's brew, it looks like there. Even a candy corn pole for that zipper. And this went full price, $100. Eagle's Eye is another super common ugly sweater brand, and these can sell for a lot of money. A lot of intricate details going on with this one. That fur there on the bear, the hair there on the scarecrow, it's those kinds of details that matter to buyers. This one went full price for about $151. And this last one when it comes to Halloween is costumes. And the more unique, the more one of a kind, the more buyers are willing to pay extra money for. Now, gorilla suits can do really well, but when you come across a pink gorilla suit, that means money. This pink gorilla suit, along with the hands and the feet and that mask, a few small flaws there. This one sold full price, $350. Now, if you'd like to make bigger profits and faster sales, then keep watching. Just click or tap the screen to watch the next video, and I'll see you there.